Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Butler, and I would like to welcome you to the latest installment in the All Data webinar series. Today, we have the privilege of speaking to you about the 3 secrets of successful auto repair shops. So for today's presentation, we have 2 presenters. First up is myself. I am the product manager for All Data Community and All Data Repair. I have over 15 years of product management experience in the software industry. My co-presenter is Rich Deagle. Rich is the supervisor of All Data's Tech Assist diagnostic team. He's an ASC and Nissan Master Tech with years of shop experience. Rich also writes a lot of our articles. So if you guys read the stuff that's in the newsletter, the technical information of diagnostic and repair, most likely those come from Rich. So before we get into the meat of today's presentation, just a couple quick logistical things to cover. So today's webinar is scheduled to last approximately 15 minutes. We will reserve some space at the end for questions and answers. Although we'll answer the questions at the end, it would be great, actually, if you guys could submit any questions you have at any time during the webinar. You should see some type of box on the right-hand side of your screen. Just go ahead and submit any questions that you have. And finally, we will send today's attendees a copy of the presentation following the webcast. So that takes care of the logistical side of today's presentation, so why don't we go ahead and get into it. So shop challenges. A common theme that we hear on a regular basis at All Data goes something like this. Our bays are full, our techs are really busy, they're working their butts off, but we're barely keeping our heads above water. We're not making the money that we think we should be making given how busy we are. So given that our resources are fully utilized, the next thing we hear is, what do we need to do to improve this? So first of all, it's always a good idea to regularly evaluate your workflow practices. Just a couple of slight modifications to any of them can have a large impact, not only in the long run, but actually also on a day-to-day basis. So anything you can do to help your techs be more efficient and productive, the better off you'll be. So before we get to the 3 secrets that successful repair shops use to stay profitable, Rich, I would appreciate it if you could quickly go over the differences between efficiency and productivity.
Sure, Dave. Yeah, I'd be glad to. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. You know, based on the years I've spent working in the shops and owning my own shop as well, the way I measured efficiency is by the tech's ability to complete a job in a prescribed amount of time. For example, you know, if a flat rate time for a particular job is 1 hour and the tech gets it done in an hour, then he's 100% efficient. You know, if he complete that same job in a half hour, then he's 200% efficient. You know, but what happens when that same efficient tech only works on 2 jobs in an 8-hour day, and they only pay like 4 hours? You know, he could still be 100% efficient on those 2 jobs, but his productivity's dropped to only 50%. Now, productivity, on the other hand, is based on the number of hours a tech is on the clock compared to the billable time he flags each day. So to be 100% productive, techs have to flag 40 hours in a 40-hour work week. You know, most techs like to see their productivity over 100%, usually about 110 to 120%, especially the flat rate techs, because when they're 100% or 120% productive, not only does that shop make money, but they do too. So when we look at the causes of low productivity, a lot of times the issue isn't necessarily the tech's lack of efficiency. It might be the shop's inability to provide the techs with what they need to be productive. So let's take a minute to look at what slows down a lot of shops and cuts into their profitability. So what are profit robbers? You know, basically what these are business practices and workflow issues that conspire to eat away at a shop's productivity. So let's look at the first one. That's not using OEM information. You know, with today's complex vehicles, it's nearly impossible to properly diagnose and repair them without the manufacturer's information. So using that same information the OEs provide their dealerships really helps take the guesswork out, and it helps techs get vehicles fixed correctly. So another issue is that a lot of shops have the OEM information, but their techs rarely use it. You know, they end up replacing parts without proper diagnosis, and that can really hurt a shop's profitability and, you know, sometimes their credibility. So next on the list is not making the best use of your tech's time. You know, it's great when your lead tech can help your B and C techs out once in a while, but, you know, they really don't have the time. It's good, it's a better idea actually for having your A techs doing what they do best, and that's working on the more difficult diagnostic and repair jobs. Because I tell you guys, you know, the lead tech could lose a lot of time helping techs. It could easily be add up to about an hour or more a day, you know, and that's time they can spend being more productive. And what about your B&C techs? Now, if you dispatch higher skill level jobs to them, chances are, you know, not only is it going to take them longer to get the job done, especially without any help, but it's possible they won't do that job correctly, and that could reduce or could actually come back to haunt you later on. And finally, you know, you might have a great resource of OEM information, but can your techs get to it easily? You know, I know a lot of shops only have one computer for those techs to use out there in the shop, and let's face it, you know, a lot of technicians' time can be wasted just standing around waiting to use that one computer. You know, and what happens when that one computer goes down, right? I'll tell you what, you know, efficiency and productivity is really going to suffer. So, you know, while we're talking about profit robbers, I'd like to revisit one of my earlier points, and that was replacing parts without a complete diagnosis, or what I like to call is the shotgun approach to automotive repair. You know, anyone can throw parts at a problem and hope that'll fix it, but really, you know, to tell you the truth, that approach doesn't really work very often. And you have to think about what's it going to cost the shop in the long run. You know, obviously the shop's going to lose the original diagnostic time, you know, and now a tech's going to have to spend more unbillable time to diagnose it again. You know, and somebody's going to have to spend some time to put that old part back on. And finally, you know, if the customer pulls that vehicle out of the shop and takes it to another shop and they fix it, you know, you're most likely going to lose that customer for good, and all the people they're going to tell about that bad experience. So, you know, properly diagnosing and repairing a problem is much more profitable overall than taking that shotgun approach. So now let's get to the part of the webinar you all been waiting for, guys. And this is the 3 best kept secrets of all today's successful to shops and what they're using to be efficient, productive, and more profitable. Based on a recent study, we've identified the top 3 core business practices that all these shops use. So first, their techs religiously use OEM repair information. Second, these shops subscribe to some type of non-OEM technical information resource, such as professional automotive forums or reliable automotive hotlines. And third, they have multiple points throughout the shop to access that information. So based on these top 3 business practices, ALLDATA has tailored its products and services to maximize every hour a technician's on the clock. So let's start with the OEM information and why it's important for shops to use it every day. The first reason that comes to my mind, guys, is onboard computers. You know, the auto manufacturers are using computers and networks of computers to operate and monitor all the systems in the vehicle. It's not just powertrain anymore. It's systems like heating and air conditioning, brakes, starting and charging, even the headlights are computer controlled these days. So shops are finding more often than not they can't diagnose or repair a problem without factory information. And when it comes to diagnosing electrical problems in these systems, you know, I got to tell you from experience, you know, factory wiring diagrams are the foundation of every good diagnostic strategy. You know, many of the top shops say that they prefer ALLDATA's wiring diagrams because they know that they're the same exact ones the techs in the dealership use, and they know they're 100% accurate. So, you know, other information such as like computer network diagnosis, module relearn procedures, these are all available only in factory service manuals. And ALLDATA delivers that reliable factory information. They've been doing it for nearly 30 years, guys, and it's delivered in an easy-to-use, standardized format. So no matter what vehicle you're working on, the information can always be found in the same place. Now, although factory information is important and in some cases vital to making an accurate repair, there's some situations where experience-based information is necessary. When we talk about finding information that's outside the factory service manuals, we're talking about getting help from professional, experienced guys that are willing to share reliable diagnostic and repair advice with their other techs. Or what I like to call is crowdsourcing information. Internet searches or calling techs and other shops for advice, you know, it can take way too much time, and it might not be accurate. To help speed up the diagnostic process, techs should really reach out to a more dependable resource of information like ALLDATA Community, which, by the way, guys, is going to be included with your ALLDATA repair or collision repair product. ALLDATA Community is an exclusive forum just for ALLDATA techs. They can easily search through thousands of existing repairs, or they can post even their most difficult diagnostic and repair problem, and in no time, you know, they're going to receive some suggested repair from one of over 300,000 other ALLDATA techs. And these answers come from techs who have encountered that exact problem before, and will be happy to share what they did to diagnose and fix it. To save time, and to get the most out of community, guys, the first thing a tech should do is search the existing database for verified repairs to the problems that are similar to the one they're working on. They shouldn't spend a lot of time though researching, maybe not more than 10 minutes. And if they can't find the answer, take a couple of minutes to quickly post the problem and then go back to work on another vehicle, because in no time, there'll be some successful repairs to that problem there for them on community. So let me show you an example, actually, guys, on how posting a community works. Technician provided some great information in this post. They included the diagnostic trouble codes and the symptoms, as well as any tests they performed and the parts they already replaced. And if you notice, guys, this is one of those cases that replacing the parts didn't fix the problem. They already tried 2 different TBI modules with no good results. So at this point, the checkout time has run out a long time ago, and this shop is desperate to get that vehicle fixed. Now, this is the advice that one of the ALLDATA techs shared with this shop to fix the problem. Now, although the original text of the shop said that they had already checked the wiring, this post actually pinpointed exactly where to test the circuits and what the expected test results should be. So, guys, the thing is, techs of any skill level could follow this test procedure and come out with the right conclusion. So, not only did this information help diagnose the vehicle quickly, it also provided an outstanding learning opportunity. And oh, by the way, the problem with this truck turned out to actually be bad connector pins at the throttle body. So the truck actually didn't need TBI modules after all.
Hey, thanks, Rich. I'm actually going to interrupt just for a second. First, a reminder to everybody, go ahead and submit any questions that you have. We're a little more than halfway through the presentation, so go ahead and fire away. And just to expand upon what you were saying, Rich, as far as the community and sharing repairs, that's a really good example of how we're working to combine OE information and user experience information. Basically, when we built the community, we kept 2 things in mind, and that is, number one, it's a community by our users, meaning you guys, and it's a community for our users. So the more information that you guys share, the more participation you guys share, the better off it is for everybody there. So, Rich, why don't you go ahead and continue and maybe tell us what ALLDATA offers besides OE and some of the community functionality.
Good thing, Dave. Sometimes a tech needs more one-on-one advice from another tech, and immediately. They're trying to get a job out the door quickly. Maybe the customer's in the waiting room, and they've got stuck on a diagnostic or repair problem, and they need some help. So what that brings me to is another form of helpful non-OE information assistance, and that's the diagnostic hotlines. The dealerships have had factory tech lines to help their technicians with difficult diagnostic and repair problems for years, And now with ALLDATA Tech Assist, independent shops have the same advantage. Because with ALLDATA Tech Assist, techs can get advice and assistance from experts. These guys, the members of this team, all of them have over 25 years of experience. They're all master techs, and they can help technicians of all skill levels solve diagnostic problems and also increase their technical knowledge, and dramatically reduce their diagnostic time. So how does Technical Hotline kind of help increase productivity in a shop? Well, first of all, using ALLDATA Tech Assist helps the VNC tech successfully take on more difficult diagnostic and repair jobs, and which can result in increased car counts, and fewer comebacks. And these techs get hands-on training, a good training opportunity from the pros. And secondly, it frees up the lead techs to do their job more efficiently without interruptions, and also gives them a master tech to go to for advice, or maybe just to bounce some ideas off of. And third, and probably one of the most important benefits, is that it helps your techs fix vehicles that other shops couldn't figure out. And these are the kind of repairs that doesn't make customers for life. These customers are going to refer your shop to all their friends. Now, our third secret of successful shops is having easy access to information. Like I mentioned before, many shops just have that one computer back there in the shop, maybe with a hand-me-down from the front office, for all techs to share. In busy days, a lot of techs' time can be wasted just waiting to use that one computer, or maybe walking back and forth to see if that computer's open. And so one of the biggest productivity boosters is having multiple computers at convenient locations throughout the shop. Or even better, to tell you the truth, multiple lightweight portable tablets. Mobile devices give techs the ability to access and repair information and diagnostic information without even leaving the vehicle. So what ALLDATA has is ALLDATA Mobile. And what that does, it gives techs access to more than just ALLDATA's OEM information. It also has scan tool capabilities, and it connects directly to the vehicle's computer with simple Bluetooth connectivity through the data link connector. So what this does is allows techs to view valuable OBD2 diagnostic information, such as like diagnostic trouble codes and freeze frame data, and live sensor waveform patterns, and even emission readiness monitors, without even leaving the vehicle. So one of the great time-saving features of ALLDATA Mobile is the seamless connectivity between the scan tool and the application, and ALLDATA's diagnostic and repair information. And here's a perfect example. You can go ahead and retrieve a diagnostic trouble code, and when it comes up, you simply tap on that diagnostic trouble code icon, and you're instantly connected to all the OEM information, the diagnostic and repair information for that DTC. And you can also clear codes for that same screen, and you can also look up the vehicle's DTC history. Now, another efficient advantage of using ALLDATA Mobile is that it allows your techs to view ALLDATA's diagnostic and repair information on a clear and scalable screen. And what that means is that the techs can easily view information like wiring diagrams, and they can zoom in on certain portions of that diagram that they want to see more clearly, and they can do that right there at the vehicle, and there's no need to print the diagram. That's going to save the tech a lot of time. It's also going to reduce the shop's printing costs. So, in closing, guys, I'd like to give you a couple of tips, especially for the technicians out there, to stay more efficient. Guys, automotive technology is constantly evolving, and you need to as well. Commit to learning new systems and diagnostic strategies such as network communications and Mode 6 information. Let's face it, the more you learn, the more you're going to earn. And finally, one more efficiency booster. And I know it sounds kind of basic, guys, but buy professional-grade tools and diagnostic equipment, specialty tools, and especially high-quality scan tools. They're a must-have for every tech that wants to succeed in their career in this industry. And when the shop's created an environment for you to be productive, and now it's up to you to have the right tools to be efficient and to make the most out of every hour your bay doors are open.
So thanks, Rich. Before we get to the Q&A portion of today's presentation, I would just like to remind everybody or let people know that ALLDATA has the full suite of products and services to address everything that Rich just went over. So as a product manager at ALLDATA, I'm really thinking about three things. From a product level, first and foremost, it's to enable you, the technicians, to be more effective and efficient as possible. So you need to be able to diagnose those vehicles easier and quicker than you do today. Kind of from a company level, our big mantra is we never want you to have to sub out a vehicle. So you should be able to solve and diagnose any vehicle that comes into your bays using an ALLDATA product. So whether it's using repair to look up the OE information, you still need additional help. You can use ALLDATA Community to search to see what other users are seeing. If you still don't find it in there, you can go ahead and post a question to a community of your peers, which is over 300,000 technicians. If you still need that additional lifeline, we have ALLDATA Tech Assist, where you have one-on-one interaction with an ASE Master Tech. And then finally, we kind of bring it all together where you can do all of that those functions from our ALLDATA mobile product. So for those of you that are existing customers, be sure to take advantage of these services. Like Rich mentioned, ALLDATA Community is part of ALLDATA Repair, and then you can call and talk to us about Tech Assist and mobile products as well. If you're not an ALLDATA customer, there's a number on the next screen that you can go ahead and talk to one of our account managers, and we would be more than happy to set you up with a live demo and or a trial. So that concludes today's presentation, and we will now move into the Q&A portion. So the first question comes from Kim Schramm, and Kim asks, how much does this service cost? So Kim, the best thing, what I would recommend to you would be to call the number on our screen, and an account manager or sales rep will be happy to talk to you about what your needs are. So the next question comes from Gavin Hill, and Gavin would like to know, how would you suggest an apprentice get experience if the lead tech is doing all the diagnosis? So Rich, I'll pass that one to you.
Well, actually the best thing to do, you could probably sit down and shadow him, and kind of watch. I know you're trying to work on the vehicle yourself or be productive yourself too, but, a lot of times the guys will just kind of sit in and watch what the technician does, the lead tech. The best thing I think I've always done over the years is take courses, after work. Plenty of schools out there that offer courses to help enhance your skills. In California, of course, we have a smog program, so a lot of the techs go to smog classes and emission-related classes to bump up their efficiencies and stuff. I think taking classes and hopefully to sit, like I say, kind of shadow what the lead tech's doing and kind of watch what he's doing and the tools he uses, without getting in his way, obviously.
Okay, thanks, Rich. The next question comes from Jake Conwell, and Jake asks, does AllData Mobile support iPad and or Android? And the answer is it supports both. I actually sit right next to the product manager for our mobile product, and they're actively working on both. I think they're doing a release for Apple this week and Android pretty soon, and those guys have some pretty exciting stuff that they're working on as well. So again, it supports both.
And Dave, they're also on Windows as well.
Yep, also on Windows as well. Yes.
So any platform you have is compatible.
Yep. And then the final question comes from Sean Hill, and Sean asks, is there an additional cost for Tech Assist? So Sean, yes, there is an additional cost for Tech Assist, but it depends on your usage. So we have different pricing packages dependent upon what your requirements, how many calls per month, et cetera, and how you would interact with community. We have reductions for that as well. So again, you can go ahead and call that number on the screen to get more accurate pricing, and we can help fulfill your needs there. So everybody, thank you very much. That concludes today's webinar, and just a reminder that we will send out the presentation to all registered attendees. So we will be hanging out here at AllData, so if you have any additional questions, we'll keep the webinar open so you can go ahead and submit them, and then we'll get back to you with the answers. And please include your email and or phone number on your message so we can get back to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you very much, and have a good weekend.